This is the United States of America, one of the most powerful empires in all of human history. If we look at the great empires of history, none were as far from the rest of the world as America is, and despite this distance, no other empire has had such global control as the US since 1890. America has been the world's number one economy, even though it has only 5% of the world's population. It controls 30% of global wealth and resources. Around 20% of global manufacturing happens in the US, and on top of that, the country accounts for 40% of the world's total military spending. Now, it's important to mention here, we are neither pro-America nor anti-America. The purpose of this video is simply to present facts neutrally, so that people can understand reality. Among the many factors that made America a superpower, the most important one is its geography. North America's geography is so naturally gifted that whichever civilization settled here was bound to become a world superpower, and let me explain why. The biggest role is played by America's river system, especially the Mississippi River, starting from Lake Itasca and flowing into the Gulf of Mexico. This is North America's second longest and the world's fourth longest river. About 30 other rivers and lakes are connected to it, including North America's largest river, the Missouri. This river system has been critical in making the US a global power. The waters of 31 US states connect to it, creating a 4,000-km network. But its real advantage isn't just its size, it's that it is navigable. The river's flow and width are ideal for all types of ships. A ship can enter from the Gulf of Mexico and reach America's northern border without obstruction. Such rivers are vital for economic activity because transporting goods by water is far easier and 10-30 times cheaper than by land. That's why factories and farms near the Mississippi can export their goods worldwide cheaply and efficiently. This single river supports 1.2 million jobs, and because so many other rivers connect with it, many US cities naturally became port cities thanks to this system. America also has the world's largest fertile irrigation lands. Wheat grows perfectly in the dry western side, while corn and soybeans thrive in the humid east. That's why America is the world's biggest corn producer, the second largest soybean producer, and the fourth largest wheat producer. 92% of US agricultural exports depend on the Mississippi River. The river generates $345 billion in trade every year, with 630 million tons of cargo moving through it. Only China's Yangtze River compares, carrying 2.6 billion tons annually and accounting for 40% of China's GDP. So you can see the enormous role rivers play in a nation's economic progress. The world's two largest economies, the US and China, both heavily depend on them. Another big geographic advantage is America's coastline, with 20,000 kilometers. It's the 8th longest in the world, 5 times longer than Africa's usable coast. Even more importantly, the US has coastlines on both the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans, giving it natural trade routes to Europe, Africa, and Asia, without needing to pay fees or taxes to other countries. And here comes America's most unique geographic advantage. It is very far from the rest of the world. On one side is the 5,000-km Atlantic Ocean, on the other the 10,000-km Pacific. This distance made direct attacks almost impossible. For example, in the 1940s, Germany cancelled its plan to invade the UK because even crossing 33 kilometers of sea was too difficult. America, thousands of kilometers away, has never been directly invaded. Only in World War II did Japan reach its fleet in Pearl Harbor. For 200 years, America has been safe from foreign invasions, of course. Now countries like North Korea and Russia have developed long-range missiles that could target the US, and China is expanding its presence in South America, worrying American think tanks. But one vulnerability is the Mississippi River route. All ships using it must pass through the Gulf of Mexico, and Cuba sits right at its exit. If Cuba blocked it, America's economy could suffer heavily, though Cuba itself isn't powerful enough. Another world power could use it against the US. This nearly happened in the 1960s, when the Soviet Union deployed nuclear missiles there, leading to decades of US sanctions. Beyond this, America also has vast reserves of energy and resources. It produces enough oil, gas, wheat, corn, and soybeans to meet its needs and exports the rest. Even if OPEC boycotted America, it wouldn't matter. 90% of its energy needs come from its own production or imports from Canada. It also holds the world's fifth largest gold reserves and fourth largest iron ore reserves. No doubt, the founding fathers planning 200 years ago helped America reach here, but above all, its geography made it naturally destined to become a global superpower. Yes, socially and culturally, America faces problems like violence, drugs, racism, and unemployment. But economically, the head start it got is so huge that undoing it won't be easy.